absolutely free. Visit arsofvirginia.com.
Call ARS and Rescue Rooter.
Good morning, America. An ABC News exclusive. Jussie Smollett breaks his silence.
I will never be the man that this did not happen to. I am forever changed.
The Empire star in his first interview since the night he says he was the victim of a brutal hate crime. What happened that night, Jussie? Left bruised in the streets of Chicago, now telling his story. What he says happened before, during, and after the assault. Why he never turned his phone over to police, and the reason he thinks he was targeted. The emotional interview only on GMA this morning.
Breaking overnight, new trouble for Paul Manafort. A judge rules Trump's former campaign chair intentionally lied about his secret meeting with a man tied to Russian intelligence.
Breaking news. 2 Americans killed in a deadly plane crash overseas. Emergency crews on the scene.
Happening right now, one of the biggest storms of the season pounding the West Coast. Cars underwater, now millions on alert for flash floods and mudslides.
New allegations against Mandy Moore's ex, singer Ryan Adams. The new report accusing him of verbally and emotionally abusing multiple women, including the famous actress. What she's saying this morning.
An incredible close call. The moment Oscar nominee Regina King is nearly taken out by a 7-foot NBA star.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America. It's great to have everybody with us on this Valentine's Day.
We underdressed.
Where's the red, fellas?
We save it for home.
Love is in the air regardless. Love is in the air regardless.
Nice save. Great to have you back from Chicago. That exclusive interview with Jussie Smollett. He's answering questions about his story for the first time.
He really is, George. And the incident has sparked both an outpouring of support as well as questions about what happened that night on a cold Chicago street. Jussie was very passionate in his account, detailing the racist and homophobic words he says his attackers used, words that we cannot broadcast. Here's the first part of Jussie telling his story.
I'm pissed off.
What is it that has you so angry? Is it the attackers?
It's the attackers, but it's also the attacks. It's like, you know, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth. Mm-hmm. Then it became a thing of like, oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth. And then it became a thing of like, oh, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth. You don't even want to see the truth.
What happened that night, Jussie?
When I landed in Chicago, and Frank Gatson, who's like my uncle, and he's also my creative director, and he picked me up. And then we got back to the apartment. There was no food. And so I went out to Walgreens thinking that they were 24 hours and to have a smoke. Walgreens was closed. So I called him up and I said, hey, I'm gonna run to Subway, which was across the street, and I'm gonna get a salad. Do you want anything? I went to the Subway and got the order. During that time, I texted my manager thinking that he was still in Australia because he was on an Australian tour with one of his other clients. Mm-hmm. And I said, yo, call me when you can. He called me immediately. And while he was on the phone, I heard, as I was crossing the intersection, I heard Empire. And I don't answer to Empire. My name ain't Empire. And I didn't answer. I kept walking, and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, the did you just say to me? And I see the attacker masked, and he said, this MAGA country punches me right in the face. So I punched his ass back. And then we started tussling. You know, it was very icy. And we ended up tussling by the stairs. Fighting. There was a second person involved who was kicking me in my back. And then it just stopped. And they ran off. And I saw where they ran. And the phone was in my pocket, but it had fallen out. And it was sitting there. And my manager was still on the phone. So I picked up the phone and I said, Brandon. And he's like, what's going on? And I said, I was just jumped. And then I looked down and I see that there's a rope around my neck, which I
You hadn't noticed it before?
No,
You didn't
because
see?
it was so fast. You know what I'm saying? It was so fast.
How long did this all
It felt
take
like minutes, but it probably was like 30 seconds, honestly. I can't tell you, honestly. I noticed the rope around my neck, and I started screaming. And I said, there's a rope around my neck.
Did you get any kind of description of the attacker?
I gave a body description, and I, because I saw this, right here or whatever, but I didn't see, I can't tell you what color their eyes were. I can't tell you. And I did not see anything except the second person I saw running away. And the first person, yeah, I saw his stature. I gave the description as best as I could. You have to understand also that it's Chicago in winter. People can wear ski masks and nobody's gonna question that.
The police have gone through a lot of video and they were able to capture an image of two people of interest. Have you seen that image?
Mm-hmm.
And do you believe that they could possibly be the attackers?
I do.
What is it about their size, or why do you feel that they could possibly be?
Because I was there. For me, when that was released, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. I don't have any doubt in my mind that that's them. Never did.
That's the first time he's given a detailed account, an account that Chicago police have said has been consistent. He hasn't changed his story. They also said it's credible. Police have said that, and also that he has been very cooperative.
A lot of questions have been raised as well.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of questions, especially about the timing of the 911 call, about the phone records, and Jussie addresses all of that, and we'll have much more of that coming up in a few minutes.
That's coming up in a little bit. We're going to move on now to those new developments in the Russia investigation. A judge has ruled that President Trump's 2016 campaign chair, Paul Manafort, broke his plea deal with special counsel Robert Mueller by lying to prosecutors about his meeting with a suspected Russian agent. And our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Washington with the story. Pierre, this could mean even more jail time for Manafort.
George, good morning. That's right. Paul Manafort finds himself in more trouble today. A federal judge last night ruling that he did lie after reaching a deal to plead guilty and cooperate with the special counsel. One of the key lies dealt with his relationship with a suspected Russian intelligence officer. The judge agreed that Manafort lied to prosecutors about the nature of his contacts with Konstantin Kilimnik, a Russian national that he met with in the summer of 2016 in a key stretch of the presidential campaign. Prosecutors recently said that the motive for Manafort's meeting with Kilimnik at a wood-paneled cigar bar in New York, in the days after the Republican National Convention, goes to, quote, the heart of what the special counsel is investigating, George.
Yeah, and that's because it could have been about the polling information he turned over to Kilimnik. And the prosecutors also are trying to figure out why he was doing this, and they also raised the possibility of a pardon.
Exactly, George. That is all being investigated. We don't know the motive for that meeting, but one thing we do know is that any reduction in time that he might get for the 10 charges he was convicted of, including bank and tax fraud, is in serious jeopardy. Before he was caught lying and his deal fell apart, legal analysts told us his prison time would likely be in the range of 7 years. Now it could potentially be more, depending on what the judge decides to do. And any additional time could be significant to a man who's 69 years old, George.
Yeah, and it seems to have been in rough health as well. Okay, Pierre, thanks very much. Also this morning, Congress racing to pass their deal to fund the government just one day before the next shutdown deadline. The full bill was released overnight. Congress expected to vote today, but President Trump has not yet promised to sign it. Our senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega tracking all the latest. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, George, good morning to you. Let me start by telling you what's not in this new bill. More than 1,000 pages, not one mention of the word wall. That's because it doesn't actually provide any funding for the concrete wall that President Trump campaigned on. Rather, it pays for about 55 miles of new fencing and border barriers. He's also getting billions less than what he'd been demanding. Remember, he said he needed $5.7 billion to pay for the wall. He's getting in this bill a little less than $1.4 billion. I asked him about that when we were in the Oval Office yesterday. He told me he's got other options to make up the difference. We know the White House has been considering declaring a national emergency. They might also use money that had been set aside for other departments and programs, including disaster relief programs, George. But, you know, those are sure to be challenged in court if they decide to go that route.
No question about that. Now, the president's signaling he's going to sign the bill, but has not promised it, as I said. Also said he has an eye out for landmines there. So what could go wrong?
Well, late last night, I got to say, one of those potential landmines for this White House came out of the bill. Back pay for thousands of federal contract workers. We're talking about people like janitors and security guards who were impacted by that 35-day shutdown. White House sources say it would have been way too complicated, way too expensive to give all these people back pay. So that is out now. You said it. President said he does not want another shutdown. So this is being interpreted as a signal that he's going to sign this one, George.
Then that is going to hit a lot of workers who were basically making minimum wage very, very hard. Okay, Cecilia, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, George, now to that powerful storm that's rocking California this morning. Torrential rain sparking serious concerns about flash floods and mudslides. Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, is in the burn area near Malibu. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, Michael, good morning. There are 5,000 people under mandatory evacuation right now just south of where we are now. These atmospheric rivers can deliver 50% of a season's rain in just a day. And these burn scar areas where we are right now are already fully saturated. I want to give you a sense with this second camera of how dangerous it could be. This bridge burned down during the most recent fire. That creek beneath it can rise 10 feet in a matter of minutes, threatening to take massive and dangerous chunks of debris downstream.
Tens of millions on the West Coast pounded by that storm stretching all the way to Hawaii. Up to 9 inches of rain flooding roadways and triggering mudslides across California. In San Francisco, a record 2.5 inches of rain swamping roads, cars completely submerged, turning this on-ramp into a river. This woman stuck, flailing out of her window to flag down help. Across the West, wind gusts topping 100 miles per hour.
It's almost like a hurricane out here.
The storm system snapping trees and slamming some into homes, wrecking fences and downing power lines. More than 80,000 customers across the state without power at one point. This 60-foot tree plucked from the ground, blocking traffic near the Almaden Expressway in San Jose. The oversaturated ground giving in, sending chunks of roads tumbling downhill.
Now, with this cycle of fire and then rain evacuations, officials are concerned about what they call evacuation fatigue, meaning that people will just stop leaving their homes even when ordered to. And obviously, that could be dangerous. Robin.
Obviously. All right, Matt, thank you. We're going to turn now to Ginger with the latest on the storm's track and path. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, Robin. It's called the Pineapple Express, or that atmospheric river that Matt was talking about. It is the source, like a fire hose, of moisture right into Southern California this morning. So that's the big issue. It can be 200 to 400 miles wide. San Diego is in it. Just north of Phoenix, we have flood alerts because we're looking for 2 to 3 inches of rain near the coast, up to 8 in the mountains. You'll even see some snow in the mountains with the next 2 systems. Michael.
All right, thank you, Ginger. And now to that breaking news overseas. 5 people killed in a plane crash in Kenya, at least 2 of them Americans. The small Cessna going down after leaving a wildlife reserve. No one on board survived. Emergency crews there are on the scene and an investigation is underway.
All right, Michael, back here at home, memorial services are getting underway for those who lost their lives in the Parkland shooting 1 year ago today. Thousands will hold a moment of silence to honor the 14 students and 3 staff members who were killed. Victor Oquendo is there in Parkland, Florida with more. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Robin. It will be a difficult and emotional day here in Parkland. Most of the students, they won't be attending school today. The district only expects a few hundred out of the thousands who attend Stoneman Douglas. It was 1 year ago today. 17 students and staff members gunned down, another 17 injured, the alleged shooter awaiting trial. There will be that moment of silence at 10:17 a.m. across Broward County schools for the 17 lives lost. Some of the more vocal students turned activists who have organized those March for Our Lives rallies, they're going on a media blackout for the next 3 days. And Robin, they say they're doing this out of respect for the victims.
Yes, they are. Those activists that you referred to pushing for stricter gun laws. So where do we stand with that?
Robin, those kids have made it their mission. They have not stopped. And some 76 laws have been passed in the past year, some banning those bump stocks and regulating ammunition size. Here in Florida, one law specifically raised the minimum age to purchase a firearm to 21 years old and the waiting period to 3 days. And just last night, the House Judiciary Committee voted on advanced legislation requiring background checks for all guns and transfers. Robin?
Right. Thank you, Victor.
Okay, we're going to get the latest now on that Air Force counterintelligence officer who defected to Iran. Now charged with spying, prosecutors say Monica Witt revealed the mission and code of a secret Pentagon program, betrayed America. And our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Redis, is here with the details. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, George. Monica Witt is now a fugitive, a defector, says the FBI, believed to be living in Iran right now, where she can continue to reveal secrets. This is a woman who spent more than a decade doing counterintelligence for the Air Force. We learned overnight that she worked as an airborne crypto linguist, meaning she was likely flying over the region, sucking up conversations and helping to analyze that data using the Farsi language skills the Air Force taught her. The indictment said her motivation for spying is ideological, saying she said she wanted to use the training she got for, quote, good, not evil, and threatening to go public with these secret programs and, quote, do like Edward Snowden, who, of course, leaked massive amounts of classified intelligence. Michael?
All right, thank you, Martha. And now we're going to go to those explosive accusations against singer Ryan Adams, the ex-husband of Mandy Moore. And ABC's Janae Norman has the latest.
Overnight, Mandy Moore is speaking out about her psychologically abusive relationship with her ex-husband, musician Ryan Adams.
I think that I'm done singing for today.
The This Is Us star tells the New York Times that Adams stifled her budding career as a pop star. She says while the couple was married from 2009 to 2016, his controlling behavior essentially did block my ability to make new connections in the industry during a very pivotal and potentially lucrative time, my entire mid to late 20s. Adams, who is a singer-songwriter and producer with decades in the music industry, who garnered widespread attention for his cover of Taylor Swift's 1989 album, also faces accusations from several other women who say he manipulated them into thinking he'd help with their music careers while pursuing them for sex and then becoming abusive when they rejected him. One woman, using a pseudonym, telling the Times Adams engaged in sexually inappropriate communication with her while she was 16.
Some of these women have recently met each other and found this sort of support network in realizing that they were not alone and that their experiences overlapped.
Adams responded on Twitter, writing, "To anyone I have hurt, however unintentionally, I apologize deeply and unreservedly. But the picture this article paints is upsettingly inaccurate. I would never have inappropriate interactions with someone I thought was underage."
And as for Mandy Moore, she hasn't released an album since shortly after marrying Adams 10 years ago, but now she says, I want to make music, and I'm not going to let Ryan stop me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Powerful hearing from them.
It is very
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah.
Thank you, Janae. Going to turn now to a close call of the court. Oscar nominee Regina King narrowly missing a full-speed collision with 76ers center Joel Embiid. This is at last night's game against the Knicks. Oh, look at that, going high. Oh, he just managed to miss Regina. I mean, he's a 7-footer. Look at that.
We talk about he missed Regina, but he sure caught that guy behind him.
Yeah, he sure did.
That guy got like a karate chop right to the midsection.
Well, you know, Regina did tweet her gratitude, saying, "Thank you, God and Joel Embiid, for your athletic abilities. Crisis averted."
And everybody's okay now, right?
Everybody's okay. That was quite a front row. Tracy Morgan, Tyra Banks.
He owes somebody a drink in that front row and in the second row.
Let's go to Ginger.
Yes, and let's talk about Redding, California. 10 to 14 inches of snow happens to be the most they've had since 1988, so in 30 years. And just a quick look at Marquette, Michigan, because they're adding up. 157, that's 2 feet above normal. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the warm cities, sponsored by Dawn Ultra.
Did you know you can save money by using dish soap to clean grease on more than dishes? Using multiple cleaners on grease can be expensive and sometimes ineffective. For better value, tackle grease with Dawn Ultra. Dawn is for more than just dishes. It provides 3 times more grease cleaning power per drop, which cuts through tough kitchen messes, pre-treats laundry stains, and even tackles grease buildup on car rims. Tackle tough greasy messes around your home and save money with Dawn Ultra. Brand power helping you buy better.
Sunshine the early part of your Valentine's Day. Some clouds late, but it is going to be dry and milder than yesterday, going up to 54 degrees by 3 p.m. today. So we pick up the cloud cover today, and still this weekend, still 2 storms. The one on Saturday will give us a light accumulation of snowfall, very slushy south of D.C. Any untreated roads may become a little slick, but no major storm coming your way this weekend, and even less of a storm coming your way on Sunday. Maybe a little bit of light mix coming in for the afternoon.
Got more of our exclusive with Jesse Smollett.
And a terrifying turbulence rocking this plane, injuring passengers. We'll be right back.
To most, he's Phil Mickelson, pro golfer. To me, he